Welcome to Movie Groove. It's what's on screen. How you doing, Cara?
Good.
You look well.
Thank you.
Okay, can you give me a 2-word answer to one of these questions?
I can try.
Okay, that was 3. That's like a 300% improvement on the last 2 answers.
I just don't have that much to say.
Cara's my co-host this evening because the amazing Gavalanche is on assignment in Los Angeles, so he's unable to join us this week. This week we've got Cara, and I gotta say, apart from having more or less the same colouring as Gav, she's a lot better looking.
Oh, thank you.
Because he's basically got a head like a bollock floating in a bathtub. And I say that with love. So if you're listening tonight, Gav, big shout out to you. Whatever you're doing tonight, man. I know the lady you're with is very, very special. So, welcome to Movie Groove once again. You're on Energy Groove Radio. We are transmitting live from the beautiful but rainy city of Sydney and all around the world. My name is Alister Lockhart, and sitting with me is Cara. Am I allowed to say your last name? Do you do that on the radio, or is it just Cara?
Until recently, I try not to.
All right, okay. So her name is Cara Stead, and her phone number is... No. Well, let's just get cracking with the show, because, by God, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. And I tell you what, every week, we here at Movie Groove like to pause and take a look at the latest entertainment news from here and around the galaxy. This is episode 10 on News Hope. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was such a bad pun. Even for you, that was so bad.
No, that was one of the good ones.
No, that was just so bad.
No, you haven't heard nothing yet. You see the beard?
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first, but it started to grow on me.
Oh, God.
You see? There's no telling how low I can go.
Yeah, true. All right. We'll see.
I'm very sorry. Anyway, box office news. Oh, yes. And in shock news to anyone who's just awoken from a 30-year coma, Box Office Mojo reports Captain America: The Winter Soldier opened to a very strong $95 million in the States this weekend. That's a new record for the month of April, ahead of Fast Five's $86.2, a promising sign that comic book nerds at least slightly outnumber diagnosable morons. Are you into cars?
No. I like driving. Yeah. I like, going down the curvy roads in my mum's manual, but that's about it.
Okay. So
when it comes to cars, no.
No, all right. Yeah, have you ever met car nerds? Because I have a 1965 Valiant Regal.
Which means nothing to me.
I know. And occasionally I go to car shows, and when you meet car nerds, like you think, you see them in movies and they're always really cool and stuff like that. No, they're exactly like computer nerds. They're just interested in cars instead. Same thing. The only women there are their mothers.
I watched a very interesting documentary about people who were in love with their cars, like legitimately in love, and that was slightly disturbing. I'm watching this one gentleman walk around a car show, making love to cars.
Making love?
Yeah, legitimately making love to
he was pressing,
exhaust pipe.
He was pressing exhaust pipe.
I kid you not.
Wow. Did he have an attachment that he would slip
No.
in? No. Okay. Because you take along a flashlight. You know the flashlight?
No.
It's like Father's Little Helper.
Oh God!
If you follow me, so it's an inverted kind of a thing, and so if you it looks like a flashlight, hence the name.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come disguised as cans of beer or something like that, and then you take a top off.
Oh no, I do know this because you can get ones that have actual fake silicone lips and stuff on them.
Fake rubber.
I do know what you're talking about.
So slip one of those into the tailpipe of the car, and away you go, just like the real thing, but bigger. Anyway, around the world, the film has already topped the first movie's $194 million total. Probably on the back of the success of The Avengers, Winter Soldier has doubled its audience from the original movie and bested the opening take of Thor: The Dark World, although that stat has somewhat weakened as a recommendation, as the movie was brainless and entirely unnecessary to our plot contrivance for getting Loki out of jail and back into circulation. Because as an audience draw, the mere sight of actor Tom Hiddleston makes female moviegoers snap open like a nest full of baby birds. There's a vivid image for you. As one of the highest grossing movies ever, it's clear the Avengers has substantially increased the number of fans for its individual characters. Impressive mostly because back when they were comics, the only Marvel characters anybody gave a toss about were the ones that they later bartered away to Fox and Sony for next to nothing. If Captain America: The Winter Soldier follows Thor: The Dark World's pattern, it will end up with nearly $230 million total. Isn't that a lot of money? Noah, however, has taken a hit, plummeting 61% to $17.5 million. I just don't know what I would do with so little money. Mostly because word-of-mouth buzz for the film has mostly been limited to, it's weird. God's Not Dead is still doing great business, apparently because people still need the reassurance. The runaway hit is now open in over 1,700 theatres and has taken $32.6 million so far. And because them artsy-fartsy heathen types are still going to the cinema as well. Wes Anderson's The Grand Budapest Hotel is a certified indie hit and it's earned $33.2 million. And following up on movies we profiled in last week's opening scene, it appears that Captain America has destroyed the competition, right along with the bad guys and several $1 trillion worth of hardware, ordnance and real estate. Found footage road trip horror Afflicted opened to a paltry $69,000 in the States. That's just $69,000. But even then, proving to be a better performer than British crime flick Dom Hemingway, Jude Law's new By the Numbers Rise and Fall story, bringing in only $29,000 over the last weekend. But the real loser, ladies and gentlemen, and who to thunk? Alan Partridge, a movie featuring a character at the height of his popularity in another country a decade ago, has failed to pull in an audience against a massive Marvel blockbuster with a direct link to the Avengers sequel, a result no one saw coming, except everyone not being held in the bilge of a condemned trawler by Nigerian pirates. Have you ever been kidnapped by Nigerian pirates?
No. Not. Well, let me say, not yet.
Hope springs eternal, Cara. They tell me that it's never boring.
Yes.
Oh. So you haven't seen Captain America? I thought
Wait, Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I haven't seen Winter Soldier.
So I thought it was quite good, but you said that some of the reverse buzz on the movie was that it wasn't very good.
Yes, well, I just remember seeing on my feed and among my social friends that someone had said Winter Soldier equals crap, but they could just be a really horrible person who doesn't like anything anyone else likes.
Okay, can you name that person?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. Is he sitting in this room?
No.
Oh. Is he a Facebook friend? Am I getting warmer? Come on. Also, did you see The Expendables?
No, I would never see an I'll say this now, I hate action films quite a bit.
Yeah.
I get really annoyed by just, oh my god, they saved the day and then this happened.
And they are a wee bit formulaic. Yeah, I saw The Expendables and it's a move I regret. You know, I am not aging any slower than I ever was, and yet I spent 2 hours of my life watching that dreck. Directed by Sylvester Stallone. That should alone have been a warning sign, but you know, there you go. Live and learn. Also in the news, Expendables 3. The teaser's out this week, promising yet more of the same, which means two things. One, it'll break box office records again, and two, it'll sink to new lows of suck not seen since Megan Fox auditioned for Transformers.
Why do people go and see these movies when they know they suck?
Well, I was about to say the first two, I mean, they were massive worldwide hits, despite being the kind of bad where you only go so you can sit there wishing it was good. You know, like going to your kid's school play or any superhero movie made by DC. Anyway, this time the roll call of aging action stars has been extended to include an unhinged alcoholic Nazi played by Mel Gibson. Oh no, hang on, I read that wrong. This time the roll call of aging action stars has been extended to include unhinged alcoholic Nazi Mel Gibson, tax-dodging ex-con Wesley Snipes, and a grumpy old man called Harrison Ford in the role of Treebeard. Bold move. Featuring as well as a return of former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you do a Schwarzenegger?
No.
You don't?
No.
Get to the chopper. Everybody does get to the chopper, come on.
No. I think I maybe watched one film he's in.
Yeah, well... How is that? Well, which one?
The Terminator where there's a pot of molten metal, I think. And he...
welcome to Movie Groove, where we know everything about movies.
You know everything about movies.
If you have questions, you just tweet us. It's at Al's Movie Groove, all one word. And if you have any questions for Cara, then just type them out and make sure that they've got the appropriate number of characters and send them through. Open up the Twitter feed.
Okay.
The Twitter feed. The Twitter feed is what I meant to say.
You have the computer and the mouse.
All right, we're going to come back with you in the next break. Anyway, Governor Schwarzenegger, former Governor Schwarzenegger, after comprehensively destroying the financial stability of the US's wealthiest state, is now apparently attempting to do the same to its movie industry. Also returning are Dolph Lundgren, looking like a slab of meat with an unconvincing grin, Jet Li, pretending to be less tough than people he could kill with his finger, and of course Sylvester Stallone, an actor's actor who can slip seamlessly into any character, so long as that character has recently recovered from a brain injury. Not returning for this installment of the franchise is Bruce Willis. Oh, what a shame. Who walked from the production early on after a disagreement with Stallone. Sly then took to Twitter to get his bitchy pants on. Greedy and lazy, tweeted Sly in all caps. A sure formula for career failure, or, as he would have said it, Realizing that when he writes stuff down, people can understand what he's saying, Stallone has publicly stated that he has sworn off Twitter, and despite it being his only coherent form of communication, his account has been silent ever since. Willis himself has made no comment on the matter and continues to look like somebody drew a smirk on a testicle. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
No.
I just can't stop laughing. The comment about actually people understanding when he wrote it down. Yeah, lost it. Because that's how I always hear it.
Not many people understand what I'm saying. It hasn't done my career any harm.
Anyway, that, my friends, is it for a news hope. And remember, when it comes to movie news, this source will be with you always. Still nobody tweeting. How about that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I mean, hopefully we'll shake out some tweets, because there's a Pitbull track here, and if we don't get tweeted in the next 10 minutes, then I'm going to play it. I'm not kidding. I'm not stuffing around anymore. I'm sick of this. Somebody's going to tweet us. Even Liam, Liam actually tweeted me before, and he said that, Liam is our only fan, the only guy that ever tweets us, and he's not listening anymore because his laptop broke.
He doesn't have a phone?
Sorry?
He doesn't have a phone?
Well, he can't listen to the... Hang on. Yeah, Liam, don't you have a phone? Well then, no excuses. Tweet in right now, or I play Pitbull. I'm not kidding. Next on the show, we've got the segment where we have a look at what's opening in theatres in Australia and all around the world. This is Opening Scene. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. And opening this weekend is a new Kevin Costner film, Draft Day. Yet another tedious sport movie with himself cast as the hero, and the movie-going public are expected to pay to care. At the NFL Draft, general manager Sonny Weaver, Costner, has the opportunity to rebuild his team when he trades for the number one pick. He must decide what he's willing to sacrifice for a life-changing... Jesus. So this is a bold departure from most sport movies, in that this one is the most recent. This week, in an interminably dull interview with USA Today entitled Costner Commands Draft Day, Costner's butt crack couldn't have felt cleaner after the obsequious grease and oil job he got from sports writer Stephen Borelli, who asked the star, "How does the script compare to some of the others you've done, like Field of Dreams and Bull Durham?" "It compares really favourably," burbled Costner, "and that's why I did it. I didn't go looking for these movies. They came across my desk, and a lot of times they just aren't any good. A lot of times the work just hasn't really been done, and I'm not going to do the work in this case unless I'm directing it. And this movie came very mature. I was really surprised, and I felt like, yeah, I would want to make this a part of my filmography." Costner had yet more aggrandizing dribble to add, going on at great length without saying a damn thing, while Borelli diligently but gently slurped every last molecule of detritus from his arse beard with nary a complaint. Admittedly, I did not read the entire article because of my urgent need at that time to slowly drive a railway spike deep into the base of my own skull. What do we think of Kevin Costner? No opinion on Kevin Costner whatsoever?
Not 100% sure who it is.
Right. That makes perfect sense, because you see, this room is full of young people, and I'm the only person old enough to remember when Kevin Costner was still relevant.
It rings a bell, but just...
Yeah, I know.
I'm so bad with putting names to faces.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Another old man that you've never heard of because he wasn't in Star Wars. Oculus. No? Still not ringing any bells. Man, am I alone in this world. That's it. There's going to be a new segment where I give everybody homework. Not just Gav, everyone. And you're going to watch movies.
Okay.
Anyway, Oculus is a new horror film starring Battlestar Galactica babe Katie Sackhoff. Now, come on, that was in the last 10 years. You must have seen that. No Battlestar Galactica, nothing?
Oh, no.
Right. A story about a large, ornate, and haunted mirror doing bad things to nice people. Convinced that the mirror caused her father to go nuts and kill everybody, a young girl sets out to clear his name by proving that it is indeed a vessel for a malevolent supernatural force, instead of doing what makes sense and smashing the thing to a fine powder, or making a gift of the finely carved artifact to Prime Minister Tony Abbott. That's what I would do. Promising nothing that might scare jaded Gen Y sociopaths more than the thought of the internet going down on Game of Thrones night, the film will be playing to empty theatres starting today. And Rio 2. Hang on. I should have a sting for this. I'm just going to use this one. I just really like it. From Blue Sky Animation Studios, Rio 2 opens today, a sequel to the animated tale of Blue. Did you see that one?
Rio, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't seen Rio 2.
So you've seen a children's movie.
Okay, I'd like to point out here that I did an animation degree. I love animation. It's basically the films that I watch.
All right, okay, fair enough.
Not a kids' movie.
Like it is a children's movie.
Child at heart, then. I don't care.
Anyway, Blue is a rare macaw. This is the original anyway. The animated tale of Blue, a rare macaw and possibly the last of his species, finding love with his own kind in the city of Rio de Janeiro, despite wacky hijinks involving kidnappers and who the hell cares. In the grand tradition of avoiding the path less travelled, like a compulsory reading list on accountancy law, the sequel takes us deeper into the Brazilian jungle to find that Blue and his lady love aren't even nearly the last of his kind, and the plot of every Meet the Parents movie ensues from there, with more kidnappers, probably. As I said, while I was struggling to care, a tiny odorless fart happened. Truly. Starring as voice talent are Jesse Eisenberg, a whiny nasal Jewish stereotype, who's also been cast as Lex Luthor in the upcoming Justice League movie, so who's hanging out for that one, eh?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
He's just so nerdy, whiny little
yeah,
kid.
nerdy, whiny, nasally.
You just want to give him a wedgie.
Jewishy, so they're gonna maybe when they shave off that fro, that white man's fro that he's got, he'll lose all of his power like Samson in the Bible.
Maybe. We can only hope, right?
Suddenly not be able to hold the audience's interest. Anyway, Anne Hathaway also stars as, along with the preposterous lineup of big-name actors such as Jamie Foxx, Tracy Morgan, and Will I Am, whose presence and personality really bring something to the marketing campaign but are entirely absent from the movie itself. Also starring is George Lopez, an alleged comedian and one of the highest-paid stand-ups in the US due to his baffling popularity among Hispanic Americans, and despite being less funny than finding your wedding video has been taped over with footage of your teenage daughter having sex with a cop on Father's Day. What? Why is everybody looking at me like that?
It sounds like you're talking out of personal experience.
No, I don't have a teenage daughter, thankfully, and if I did, she would have been locked under the stairs years ago. I'm really not very good at this job. Anyway, that was Pink with Blow Me, brackets, One Last Kiss. That's what it said. It says it right. Why?
Of course it does. Sure.
Why is everybody always... It does. It says it right there. Look at it. Oh, no, it's gone. So you've seen Star Wars, right?
Oh, why does everyone have to make fun of me for this? No, I haven't seen Star Wars.
No, it's not a sin. They are very old movies.
I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen Indiana Jones.
Whoa. It's okay. They're movies for nerds. Clearly, you're not a nerd. Although you are drawing a picture of a dragon.
A very good one, too.
Anyway, the only reason I ask is because we're going to talk about geek things now. I'm just going to play this little sting here, because occasionally on this show, we like to focus on the movie news that makes the geek clique bust its leak. This is the Geekly Roundup.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in a V Club and Glee Club and even the chess team.
This is a professional radio show. Last week we were talking about how we got handed a copy of the rules and regs, and we're definitely not allowed to swear on air. We're not allowed to do that. But I have come up with a system of, if I need you to do a cue for me, okay? If I need you to do, if I'm missing out, because sometimes the soundboard goes down, and I need somebody to do a sting for me. If Gav was here, then he would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You've got that frightened rabbit in the headlights look on you. Like, you've got no idea what's... No, it's okay. This is easy. Whenever I need you to make a funny noise, I will give you a cue from afar. And I will say... So I'll say, far cue. Okay, you got that? Far cue. Whenever I need you to make a funny noise. Here we go.
No, don't do that, because I don't have a noise to make.
Fuck you, Cara. You didn't do it. Okay, well, I guess that's not going to work. Look, we'll come back to that later on in the show. But again, we're definitely not allowed to swear. Brad's looking at his phone. Maybe Freddy the Turk has phoned. I think Freddy the Turk has just texted, get that man off the air right now. If you're listening, boss, isn't this show funny? In Star Wars news, Chewbacca. Oh my goodness, yes. Indicool News reports that Peter Mayhew, The 7'3" English actor who played Chewbacca in all 6 Star Wars movies so far will be returning for Episode 7. The now 70-year-old actor has undergone knee replacement surgery and is apparently fit to play the role he made so memorable by shuffling around slowly in a full-body merkin.
I do know who Chewbacca is.
Yeah, you do know who Chewbacca,
Yeah.
but you might not know there's some scenes where he's required to run and he can't do it very well. It's because like when you have giantism, it's really difficult to move.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of like that little jogging run that they're doing in The Empire Strikes Back, for
Why did
example,
I
that's
think
as good
he
as it
died?
gets. Pardon me?
Why did I think he died?
Because he's very old. Because he's
But I'm
70. It makes sense. It's something you would hear and believe. Peter Mayhew died. That makes sense. He was very old.
Yeah.
But apparently the way that he moves is really important. In The Empire Strikes Back, he got sick for like weeks, and the director had to get another tall actor in the suit to do his bits for him. And then when he came back, they just scrapped everything they'd shot because the guy just didn't move the right way. So, it's really important for Chewbacca to be that guy. So, hopefully he'll stay alive until Disney is finished with the property.
Hopefully science advances that far.
Science advances that far? Yeah, we'll keep Peter Mayhew. We'll do the same thing that we did with Keanu Reeves, because I have this theory that Keanu Reeves died the same night as River Phoenix, and we just haven't noticed. They've just embalmed him and attached sticks to his hands. Dude, there's a bomb on the bus.
You're right, actually.
Whoa, a bomb on the bus, dude. Whoa. So this is great news for fanboys, or more accurately for Disney, because it will make people believe that they're getting the Star Wars they remember from their childhood, rather than the ludicrously overproduced crap they're far more likely to be getting, made only worse by the additional spectacle of watching a crew of septuagenarian has-beens pretending to remember characters they played over 35 years ago. Christ's sake. And in a Movie Groove exclusive, a leaked script of the movie has been sent to us by a whistleblower from the production calling himself Deepa Throto. That's a great Star Wars name. See, if you want to make up a Star Wars name, all you have to do is, like, if your name has 2 syllables in it, you remove a consonant. And if your name has 1 syllable in it, then you add a vowel. So, you are Arastedo. See how easy?
Yeah.
And Jotham, like, he's already got a Star Wars name. Jotham. That's a Star Wars name, is it not? Anyway, this early draft of the story reveals that this installment of the saga, Han Solo is suffering from an illness contracted while frozen in carbonite, which makes him mumble incoherently in a low monotone and gives him the appearance of being an unusually bored and grumpy slab of mahogany. Meanwhile, Princess Leia is on the run after being inadvertently mistaken for Jabba the Hutt, while Luke Skywalker is on assignment for the Jedi Order, being the perfect choice for an undercover mission to the planet of the overacting Mr. Potato Head people. Smooth-talking huckster Lando Calrissian is operating a con game in which he says yes to literally any movie or TV show that asks for a cameo appearance by Lando Calrissian, and Chewbacca has been mistaken for a throw rug because he's fallen and can't get up. Did you see... No, you mustn't have.
Well,
Lando-
give me a chance.
All right, no, you didn't. Moving on. No, Lando, the guy who played Lando Calrissian, he's a very old man now called Billy D. Williams, and he was on the US version of Dancing with the Stars. And as embarrassing as Dancing with the Stars is to begin with, he showed up in like Lando Calrissian gear and did a dance of sorts.
Who's Lando?
He's the guy with the black guy with the cape. He's the only black guy in the entire galaxy.
Oh, actually, no, I do know who this is.
Yeah, that guy.
The only black guy, you're right.
Yeah, so he showed up and he's the suit on and the cape and everything, and he's dancing to a disco version of the Star Wars theme. And
Oh, that is
it was
atrocious.
so painful, just so awful.
And yet I can't help but want to Google this.
Go ahead, you're laughing on air. Ooh, we got a tweet from one of our listeners. Her name is Marnie Nubia. She says, "We aren't dating, but I'm afraid of someone new getting close to you." I don't think that tweet was directed at us. So if you're listening, Marnie, bonjour. She's French. Or she speaks French. Maybe she's from Canada. I don't know. Anyway, tweet us and let us know, Marnie. Is everything okay? We're worried about you, dear. Last week, I took the time to write this, but I didn't get around to doing it. So this week we have very old news. Geeks worldwide are again outraged by the look of the Green Goblin in the new Spider-Man movie.
The new one? It looked good.
What?
The newest one?
The newest one. No, the Green Goblin makeup. Like, the movie looks expensive. I'll give you that. But the Green Goblin, the character art. Have you seen it? All right, big thumbs up from the nerd in the corner. I'm going the other way. Geeks worldwide are outraged by the look of the Green Goblin in the new Spider-Man movie, reacting in typically adult fashion and not at all like a cage full of 2-year-olds denied their ice cream. To be fair, the heavily made-up Dane DeHaan in his new gobby gear looks like a zombified version of Fade Rotha from Dune as played by Sting. Of course, the universal consensus is that it is a massive step up from the Green Goblin costume from Raimi's Spider-Man. which made the misstep of unnecessarily putting an immobile fright mask on Willem Dafoe when all that guy needed was some green paint and contacts. This was a move that made a crucial scene between the hero and the villain look like a child's role play with action figures. Have you seen that scene? There's two guys with their faces covered up, just, and dialogue dubbed over the top of them. It's really awful. In the original Raimi Spider-Man.
I think so. I'm pretty sure I have.
Okay.
But I can't be sure.
You're way out of your depth here, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's okay.
I said that to you when you dragged me into this.
I know. Well, eventually we're going to trip across something that you know, and then...
It might take 50 years, but we'll get there.
It might just do. Anyway, in that same inspired direction that led him to the choice of hiring Willem Dafoe and covering up his face, Raimi will be casting rubber-faced physical comedian Jim Carrey in his new biopic about a deaf-mute quadriplegic who's been permanently frozen in time. Batman. That is entirely the wrong sting. The 75th anniversary is on. Have you got the picture up?
No, I'm still waiting.
Oh, goodness me.
Because I got it up, but apparently it's not the right one.
All right.
Or the one that we have to look at.
Well, we're talking about Batman. Latino reports that Warner Brothers and DC have announced a year-long celebration of the impossibly wealthy nutjob who has no superpowers to speak of, except being the very best gymnast, parkour master, martial arts expert, chemist, engineer, detective, and disguise artist in the world. A skill set that may explain why he's never once had time in 75 years to sort through his daddy issues. Highlights of the program include a new 75th anniversary logo, an exhibition, video games. There will also be related activities throughout the year to draw weirdos and shut-ins everywhere out into the open. So, if you're attending, I'd wear a combat vest. There's the Green Goblin.
Yeah, that's the one you're talking about?
That's the one I'm talking about, first impressions. It looks like Sting from Dune,
I gotta know who that is first to give a comparison.
What a massive shock. Back to Batman. First appearing in Detective Comics 27 in 1939 with art by Bob Kane and a script by Bill Finger. Batman emerged from the shadows to become the world's most popular superhero. In film, TV, radio, video games, publishing, and merchandise, this most human of superheroes has battled some of fiction's greatest villains in his quest for justice, as well as some of the rubbishest. Penguin, we're looking at you. Kevin Tsujihara, remember him? No. Told Movie Groove earlier today via an article in Latino Review, Batman is an incredibly important property with multi-generational appeal across all of the studio's businesses, said Tsujihara while idly flicking through a catalogue of luxury yachts. And we're proud to celebrate this milestone anniversary. Batman is the single most successful superhero film franchise in history, and there have been more theatrical movie releases based on Batman than any other comic book character, one or two of which were actually good. Key activities planned for the celebration include a slew of titles and commemorative reprints, variant covers, and other cash grabs that idiots will eagerly shell out for, hoping that they'll accrue value before the rapture happens. My money's on the Four Horsemen there. Batman Day will be an event partnering with thousands of comic retailers, bookstores, and any other location still stocking the now outmoded novelty item known as books. Each one hosting an anniversary celebration and offering fans prizes, freebies, and if they've got any sense at all, cans of deodorant. Quickly, Robin, the bat spray. Also, have you ever been in a comic store on a Saturday? Wow.
I've been around nerds.
Yeah. So, also, Warner Brothers Home Entertainment will bring fans the long-awaited release of the 1966 TV series for the first time ever, and are urging people to ignore the bodies of any ancillary license holders they may find in a storm drain. A 25th anniversary edition release of the equally campy but unintentionally hilarious and crappy 1980 film Batman by Tim Burton will be released, so you can pay to relive the disappointment of Jack Nicholson's hammiest ever performance, throwing every other element into such sharp relief that you fail to notice how much it all sucked. I hope you're listening, Tim Burton. I hate you. Ooh.
Whoa.
So, I'm sure I've got to take my pill. There's a new animation series, because there hasn't been enough of those. The new Gotham TV show doesn't feature Batman at all, so there's a good move. And, of course, the new movie featuring Henry Cavill as Superman and Ben Affleck, the universal symbol for Punch Me, essaying the role of Batman. They'll also be selling so much bat crap that by next year's end, the big island of garbage in the Pacific will become self-aware and lay waste to civilization as we know it. Good times. Anything you're after there? Not a big Batman fan? You must have seen one of those movies. Come on.
All right. I have seen one where you see it's got Catwoman and Danny DeVito, is it? As the Penguin?
Oh, right, yeah. So that's the one that really kind of...
That's a Tim Burton one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, because he did so well with the first one that he decided to go darker and stupider with the second one, and because he'd done so well, they just gave him free rein. They went like, yes, Tim, whatever you want to do, you do. And then it came out and they were like, oh, dear. Because it had pussy jokes in it.
Oh.
Or I had a pussy joke.
Yeah.
You know, where the penguin comes in and finds her lying on the bed and said, just the pussy I was looking for. And the kids' film, you moron. Jesus.
Yeah.
So, it was a bit too dark and it really buggered up the whole thing. So they went, you're fired. And they hired Joel Schumacher and the beginning of the end began.
Yes. And then I've seen, obviously, the one with Heath Ledger in it.
That is the good one, but only because Heath Ledger's in it.
Yeah, I know. I look back at it and I think, I don't actually remember anything else from this film other than Heath Ledger.
All right, so those of you who are going like, oh no, The Dark Knight was awesome. Here's a challenge. Watch the movie again, but just take out all of the scenes where Heath Ledger is just doing his sort of monologue thing. Just remove all of those scenes and watch it without those, and it'll be illuminating, trust me. There's like a bit in it where they've got to go and get this guy Lau, who's scarpered to Hong Kong, right? Batman's got to go and get him. He goes, I'll take care of Lau. That's my bat bail. I'll take care of Lau.
It's pretty good.
And thanks very much. So he goes off to Hong Kong and they do this whole belabored thing that explains how he gets, has an alibi for leaving town and the whole boy shower ballet and we're going to use this kind of plane and they get in with mobile phones and blah, 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 blah. 25 minutes. And then eventually Lau ends up trussed up on the steps of the Gotham City police station. And I was saying to a friend of mine, if you remove that whole 25-minute section, you just he says, I'll take care of Lau. And then you cut straight to the bit where he appears on the steps. You've told the same amount of story.
Yeah.
And I said that to a mate and he said, yeah, but without that scene, Batman doesn't do anything until the end of the movie.
That's true as well.
It's true. And also, we were talking before about swearing.
Oh, yes.
You remember? And
no.
And how we mustn't...
Oh, why?
What? No.
What noise do you want?
What? No, I'm... I wasn't like the queuing system wasn't really working, and I'm afraid that you might be developing a bit of a cough. But I have a remedy. I have a brand new stuff that's just come on the market. It's amazing. It removes your cough and takes it far away. It's called Farcough. Farcough, Cara. Remember the name, Farcough.
I will.
That's
not one that you can easily forget.
That stuff comes highly recommended. Anyway, moving on. Every now and again, Hollywood gives us a movie that we've been waiting a lifetime to see. And everybody's got an opinion on who should get the lead. So this is a segment where we beg casting agents everywhere to consider anyone but Affleck. Damn right. And Ray Winstone has been cast in Point Break. I like Ray Winstone. He's a right bleeding bastard. He is. No idea who I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Did you see a trailer for Noah, by any chance? Did you see a trailer?
Yes.
You don't know your king.
Oh, okay. I know who that voice is.
Yes.
Don't I?
I have an army, and you stand alone and defy me.
And Russ goes, I'm not alone. Anyway, after being drowned along with his family and everyone else on Earth by a benevolent God of perfect love, in Darren Aronofsky's Noah, Ray Winstone has been cast in the upcoming Point Break remake, which is going to be hilarious. Winstone has accepted the role of veteran FBI field operative Pappas. That must be Greek. Originally played by brain-damaged train wreck Gary Busey. Gary Busey. I died. I came off my motorcycle. I got a head injury and I died. I saw a light. I saw God. Have you got God in your life?
No.
You don't know who Gary Busey is, do you?
No.
I'm batting a zero here. So he'll need to bring his A game to that movie and presumably his meds. Pappas is essentially the mentor figure to hero Johnny Utah, so spoiler alert, he's going to die. Aussie actor Luke Bracey plays Johnny Utah, the role made famous by Keanu Reeves, so if Bracey decides to play the character as he is remembered, he won't be required to act. In the original film, Busey's character was the precinct joke, whose theory was that the gang of bank robbers they were tracking had ties to the surfing community, and he was laughed at by his colleagues. Busey was perfectly cast, as all they had to do to get his performance was to give him this information as fact, turn the cameras on, and let him out of his cage. So you didn't see Point Break either?
No.
No. Do you know who Keanu Reeves is?
Yes.
Hot dog, we have a winner.
We have a winner.
That's amazing. How about Patrick Swayze?
Again, I'm not very good with putting names to faces.
He was the guy in Dirty Dancing who was having an affair with a 16-year-old girl in a state where the age of consent is 17.
Oh.
So basically, he committed statutory rape.
Yes.
Yeah.
You always have to bring that up.
I'm sorry, but that's a good way to go back and look at that movie again. It's so romantic. Oh my God, he should be arrested. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Gesundheit. Yes, the man whose name, when pronounced properly, makes you sound like you've had a stroke. See, Gav would have come back with that. Gav would have given me a
I'm
Gesundheit.
sorry that I was not Gav. I'm not as good as him.
You're better looking.
That is true.
But of course the listeners can't enjoy that. Send them another photo. Take a selfie.
No.
And just show them what they're. Come on.
1 second, let me take a selfie.
Yeah. So, Chiwetel Ejiofor, the man whose name, when pronounced properly, makes you sound like you've had a stroke, is in the frame to be the next Bond villain. Chiwetel Ejiofor is allegedly being courted by director Sam Mendes. Mendes to square off against Daniel Craig's cooler-than-thou take of super spy James Bond. The covert operative reuses his real name wherever he goes. It never seems like a good idea, but the line never fails to get him laid. I'm Bond, James Bond. Ah, Mr. Bond. Thump. Ooh. Now put him in a room that he can escape from. Chiwetel Ejiofor played a great bad guy in Serenity, you'll remember, so it looks like Mendes is looking to raise the bar again, since Javier Bardem's sinister turn as a damaged gay nutbag with abandonment issues who can write magic computer code that makes buildings explode. Do you see James Bond?
Yeah, kind of.
I've seen
Skyfall. No.
No, you didn't see Skyfall.
No, I really hate the new... I hate Bond films.
Yeah.
Generally. Hate the newer ones even more.
They are stupid.
Yeah, the only one I think I really properly watched is the one with the guy with the iron teeth.
Oh, Jaws. Yeah. That would have been a Roger Moore version. Was it Roger Moore or Sean Connery? Because Sean Connery...
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know who Sean Connery is?
I know who Sean Connery is. I can't remember at the film.
Yes. Ralph Fiennes... Sorry, Rafe. He must get so sick of that. It's Rafe. It's bloody Rafe. Ralph Fiennes and Naomi Harris are on board, and Ben Whishaw will also return as Q, because every children's show needs a specky nerd who knows science stuff. There have been 25 Bond films so far. The role was most memorably played by Sean Connery, a ruthless pushy hound, so suave he could make an oven-ready chicken wet. At least memorably by Timothy Dalton, whose rendition of the character was so forgettable that, if he takes the role, Chiwetel Ejiofor joins a long and distinguished roll call of Bond villains, including an overdubbed Gert Frobe as Auric Goldfinger, known for committing the most ludicrously expensive murders of all time. He painted a girl gold. And like in the book they say, like, if you paint somebody all over with body paint, then they suffocate. It's absolute nonsense. It's like one of those things that was taken as fact for decades because it was in a James Bond book.
But that doesn't make logical sense.
No, it doesn't. He also claimed that...
your stupidity is ruining the world.
Yes, the sumo, Mr. Bond, can retract their testicles at will. Bollocks. Quite literally. It's absolute nonsense, but people believe that was true just because it said, they said it on a James Bond film. But anyway, there was 7-foot Richard Kyle as Jaws, an unstoppable assassin who brushed his teeth with Brasso. You remember him? He also did a voice in Tangled. You saw Tangled, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he was the big dude who made like little glass menagerie. So the same guy was the voice of that character.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, there we go. We've got a connection. There we're rolling. Look at that. The lights all just came on. And Ernst Stavro Blofeld, played alternately, I should say, by Donald Pleasance, Christian Glover, and not Crispin, Christian Glover, and Telly Savalas. The inspiration for Mike Myers' character, Dr. Evil, Blofeld was, of course, the demented megalomaniac who insisted on constantly stroking his pussy in front of everyone. That's an unhappy workplace. He did. He was always, constantly.
I know what you're... I know.
Constantly stroking
that poor pussy.
Poor pussy. Wouldn't leave it alone. All the hair had fallen off it and everything. Rated G for general audiences. This is Movie Groove. We're transmitting live from the city of Sydney and all around the world. My name's Alister Lockhart, in case you're calling the police. Variety reports, in more old news that I wrote for last week's show and didn't get to, Toby Kebbell, who you don't remember as a gun-toting psycho in Guy Ritchie's Rock and Roller. Nah.
That didn't even give it a second, but no.
No, I haven't seen the movie either. It's Guy Ritchie. Madonna's wife. Ex-wife, sorry. So he's in talks to play Victor Von Doom in the upcoming Fantastic Four rehash. The 31-year-old actor will be squaring off against Mr. Fantastic, who is being played by Miles Teller, who will presumably cry and run home to tell his mummy. Seriously, Mr. Fantastic, he's supposed to be like the father figure of the whole group, and he's being played by, I don't know, some kid who's like 19 years old or something. It's really, I don't know. Anyway, the rest of the cast is also filled out with a crew of similarly anonymous fetuses. Sorry?
I'm looking at who Miles Teller.
Yeah, that's Mr. Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. And
not very fantastic.
And the Thing, as played by Billy Elliot. Anyway, fans are already howling about the casting choices for this version of the well-worn tale of scientist turned super, or at least they would if anyone cared. It's Fantastic Four. Seriously. That's all for anyone but Affleck this week. It's been fun.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I said it, you heard it. Straight from my mouth to your ears.
And everyone now is
Stewing
pulling
it.
out guns and putting them in their mouth.
Stewing it, yeah. Oh, enjoy it. What are you doing?
Dancing.
Dancing. That was lovely.
Singing to it in my head.
We've got to get the webcam on. There's a webcam on in here. But
It's a security cam.
It's a security camera?
Yeah.
We should flash the guy at the...
No,
Is
let's
there-
not.
No? I will.
Generally, Freddy's on the other side of that cam.
Is he? Freddy's on the other side of that cam? All right, keep talking. I'll show him my nipples.
Don't do that. Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone avert your eyes.
Oh, come on. Oh, look at that.
Dear
anyway.
Christ.
So enjoy that, boss. That's a special treat just for you. Welcome back to Energy Groove Radio, where we're transmitting live, for better or for worse, from the wonderful city of Sydney and all around the world. The show's called Movie Groove. My name's Alister Lockhart, and sitting with me is the lovely Cara Stead. Are we still doing? We're still on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. I just walked out.
So, oh, I'm losing my voice already. I've been just going on and on and on. So we'll go through Sound of Movies quickly here. Every week here at Movie Groove, what we like to do is take a look at the oft-overlooked art of movie music from Hollywood and the unsung heroes who create it in a bit we call the Sound of Movies. Better than sex. The Sound of Movies. In the last 3 weeks on The Sound of Movies, we've brought you the work of Oscar winner Randy Newman, who gave us a score for Toy Story and its sequels. His cousin, the multi-Oscar nominated Thomas Newman, who gave us a score for Finding Nemo. And Thomas's brother David Newman, who gave us a score for Serenity, so he kicks arse as well. Is it something in the DNA? You bet it is, because Thomas and David are the sons of the most celebrated screen composer in history, with a record 9 Oscar wins for Best Original Score, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alfred Newman. Yeah, oh yeah. In a career which spanned over 40 years, Newman composed music for over 200 films. He is today regarded as one of the greatest musicians ever to work in film, and along with composers Max Steiner and Dmitri Tiomkin, who even I have never heard of, Newman is considered one of the 3 godfathers of film music. Among his Oscar-winning work was the adaptations of scores for such musicals as The King and I, Camelot, Call Me Madam, and he conducted the orchestra for all of the film adaptations of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals, except for Oklahoma, Sound of Music, and an animated cartoon version of The King and I, but that doesn't matter. It came out in 1999. He was dead. Newman won a total of 9 Academy Awards, as I said, the most for any composer. He was nominated in a total of 45 times, making him only the 3rd most nominated person in Academy Awards history, after Walt Disney and the mighty John Williams. This track, ladies and gentlemen, is a massive, massive classic. And if you don't know this, then you're dead to me now. This is Alfred Newman's opening theme to the 19... Except for you, Cara. I saw a worried look there. This is Newman's opening theme to the 1964 hit, How the West Was Won. Soaking it, people. My voice is going quick, so we better wrap the show up. And that's right, every week I like to remind the listeners that my very favourite bit of the Oscars is the In Memoriam segment. But why wait until March when we can enjoy death every week in a bit that we call Dead for Reals?
Behind the clouds, the sun is shining. There's a big blue sky waiting right behind the clouds.
Well, you're dead now, so shut up!
Ah, lovely. And in Dead for Reals this week, The Ultimate Warrior. Do you remember The Ultimate Warrior, don't you? I think he retired when you were 6.
Well, then, no, of course not.
Warrior, who was born James Bryan Helwig, was an American professional wrestler who most famously wrestled under the ring name The Ultimate Warrior. He was best known for his appearances in the World Wrestling Federation. From 1987 and all through the 90s, who knows what he might have achieved if he'd taken part in an actual sport. He was a 2-time WWF Intercontinental Champion and won the WWF Championship when he pinned Hulk Hogan in the main event of WrestleMania 6, a moment which was a little uncomfortable for those present at the time. He also beat him in wrestling. Helwig legally changed his name to Warrior in 1993, which is also the last name of his wife and children. I bet they're happy with that. Hello, I'm Anne Warrior. Excuse me. He retired from professional wrestling in 1998 and embarked on a career in public grunting. Warrior died on April 8, 2014. This is tough. At the age of 54, 3 days after being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and 1 day after reappearing on Monday Night Raw. Witnesses said he appeared sweaty and in pain, but he went on anyway. Like, have you seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke? He's like about to have a heart attack, but he just goes with it anyway.
No.
They don't actually make it clear what happens, but yeah, this is what this guy did. He felt like he was having a heart attack, went on anyway. The show must go on. Awesome work from that man there. Life imitating art. Ultimate Warrior was only 54, and now he's down for the count. And this next one is a tough one. Mickey Rooney has died. Okay.
And they're trying to look at me like, because I know I should know this.
Right.
And I feel like I do, but I can't be sure.
Like Gav is probably at home. He's shouting at the radio, I know who that is. Damn it, Cara. Lift your game. The last actor to have made his start in silent movies and continued working well into the 21st century. First appeared in a feature film at the age of 4 in 1926. Not to be Trusted was the name of that film. And Mickey went on to be the box office champion of the Depression era for 3 years running, starring in 78 of the Mickey Maguire films between 1926 and 1934. That's a hard-working boy. As a young man, he starred in hits such as the Andy Hardy movies, most famous of which is Love Finds Andy Hardy. In the closet, presumably. His first movie was Judy Garland, so he was a friend of Dorothy's, he wasn't. I'm sorry. Judy became a close friend until her death, and Boys Town, which was the first movie I ever saw him as a child, and I cried at the end like a little bitch. You look really horrified there. What's wrong?
I'm just trying to think if I know what that film is.
Right.
Boys Town.
Boys Town, it was, yeah. Film that one. Check that one out.
Isn't that on like Broadway or something?
No, it's about an orphanage.
Huh.
And it's very emotional. What are you giggling at? That's not funny. Orphanages aren't funny, Brad Dewins.
No, I thought it was on the theatre.
Well, no, you're thinking of Annie. It's a hard knock life. Yeah.
Maybe.
At age 19, he became the first teenager to be Oscar nominated in a leading role for Babes in Arms, and during the war he served 22 months, 5 of those with the Third Army under the famous General George Patton, having been well prepared by his many years in Hollywood for working under a barking lunatic. And he won a Bronze Star for his trouble, that's nice. In the 60s, he starred in 2 Best Picture winners, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, but previous to that, comedy gem, he essayed the role of Holly Golightly's Japanese neighbour in the Blake Edwards classic Breakfast at Tiffany's, a portrayal that set the cause of racial harmony so far back that the movie's premiere was picketed by creatures from the early Triassic. He more recently appeared in The Muppets and also in Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller.
I know these ones.
Yeah, there you go. Presumably for losing a bet. When asked how he felt about appearing next to such a revered comedy legend, Ben Stiller got confused because he thought the question had been directed at Mickey. Prat. With a world record of 337 credits as an actor and with a further 204 as himself, Mickey may well have been the only actor in history to have worked through 10 consecutive decades. Between Angela Lansbury, Norman Lloyd, Dick Van Dyke, Ernest Borgnine and Betty White, Rooney is one of the oldest actors in Hollywood never to retire. Of her friend this week, Betty White was quoted as saying, "Eh?" Mickey was married 8 times, because some people never learn. But the 8th was the charm, and he and Jan Chamberlain stayed together for 35 years, which is longer than all his other marriages combined, although he broke up with her in 2012. Seriously, when you're 92, do you break up with your wife?
No, there's no point.
I need to find myself.
I think it's a little late, son.
I need to live my own life. Okay, so... Anyway, but all up he had 9 children and 19 grandchildren, so Mickey Rooney was a man who knew how to live. He was 94, and we miss him already. And that was my tribute to Mickey Rooney. So have you got a picture of him on the
Actually,
on the computer
no.
phone there?
I was looking at something totally different.
You're not even paying attention now.
I was looking at something to do with Boys Town.
I don't know. I do have something for you to look up. Apparently, do you know the name Stephen J. Cannell?
What happens if I say no?
I'm going to give you more crap. No, Stephen J. Cannell was the writer behind many TV hits such as Magnum P.I. and Battlestar Galactica and a whole bunch of star things like that. In fact, at the moment, they're doing a documentary about just how far Stephen J. Cannell went in his long and illustrious career. It's called Farkin' Hell.
Oh, gosh.
That was His Purple Majesty Prince there with Zooey Deschanel. Again, for no reason that we know of here. So, yes, you're listening to Movie Groove on Energy Groove Radio, transmitting live from the city of Sydney and all around the world. If you've just tuned in, you've missed a show.
I was going to say, well, you're listening to the end of Ours Movie Groove.
So we're tuning out. We're getting off the air before my voice entirely gives out. I'm going to go home and have a Bex. Again, they don't sell that brand anymore. Never mind. God, I'm working with a pack of fetuses. So you people are so you're so young and vital. You make me sick. Cara, have you had a nice time?
Actually, yes.
Oh well, that's actually quite. So I was
ever so surprising.
I was expecting you to be honest there and go like, "No, I haven't had a good time. You've been an arse." But you've been very kind to stay back in Gav's stead.
My pleasure, always.
And
anytime.
And I've had a good time too. So yeah, you can fill in for Gav anytime. This is going to be great. Join us back here next week for more invective and ill-informed opinions on movies. And until then, come on, Aerosmith.
and
I just pressed the Aerosmith button.
And
it was ticked. What the hell's going on with this thing? It's not playing it. Brad, what's going on? Oh, you know what I've done? Okay, let's.
There we go.
There you go.
Thanks very much for listening. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Enjoy your lives.